There seems to be this strange confusion in people where they feel like if something is legal or permissible or acceptable, that they have to be a part of it. They have to do whatever that thing may be. But if you live in a society where morality is based upon consent, then two adult people who are in a consenting relationship shouldn't really bother anybody, and it shouldn't be considered wrong either. So I also kind of wonder if these people who are religious, who have these feelings of religious opposition to a certain thing, why do they feel like that should be enough for it to be illegal or something that no one can be a part of? And the reason that I'm bringing these questions to you guys is because there's this huge debate going on right now about homosexuals in the Boy Scouts, whether it be a leader or a member. People are fed up with it, and Obama actually recently spoke out about it, and he said this.
Well, because I think that, my attitude is that gays and lesbians should have access and opportunity the same way everybody else does. In every institution and walk of life.
And of course, upon hearing this, people are just outraged. They're livid that Obama came out in support of, gays and the Boy Scouts. So they say things like, the Boy Scouts were founded upon morals and values, and this is just going against all of that.
It's ironic President Obama talks about what a great organization they are, but part of what makes them such a great organization is because they stand on this foundation of timeless moral principles.
But if you ask me, they seem to be forgetting the fact that morals and values include accepting other people, not judging other people, loving everyone, not excluding someone because they're not something that you can relate to. But for a moment, let's just put ethics aside and talk about this from a legal standpoint. A lot of people argue that the Boy Scouts of America have a First Amendment right to exclude certain members if they so choose to.
The Supreme Court has held that the Boy Scouts have a First Amendment constitutional right to pursue their values and to exclude leaders whose presence would be inconsistent with those values. That includes, by the way, not just gays, but atheists.
And I know this may be shocking to a lot of people out there, but I agree with the Supreme Court. They have the right to discriminate. Private organizations are allowed to discriminate who is a part of their organization, whether it be a group or hiring people as employees. They're allowed to discriminate their private organization, but the moment they start accepting federal funds, they're no longer allowed to discriminate, period. The Boy Scouts of America is a federally funded organization, and I think it's just completely ridiculous that the government is giving them all this money. Taxpayers, some of which, may I mention, are homosexual, are paying into the system that's going to support something that's going to discriminate against them. How does that make any sense?
And I think it's exaggerated how much society is changing. A majority of Americans, according to a recent poll, still believe that it's morally wrong to engage in sexual relations with a person of the same sex.
No. I don't know what else to say other than no. That's just flat out wrong. That's just completely wrong. Times are changing. It's evident. You see it everywhere. People are more and more accepting of gay people getting married, and they're voting to show that. I mean, it's very evident that people are becoming more accepting of the LGBT community. This is just completely wrong. The only reason why he's saying that, and the only reason why there's people probably standing behind him going, yeah, is because it's their religion. They're just stuck in this mindset that it has to be that way, and this comment that someone left proves it. We don't care what your statistics say. There are more people with morality that still support this ban than there are that don't. So until God changes his mind about this pathological lifestyle, we are not changing ours. There it is again. No matter what you do, these people are just not going to even open their minds to consider anything different. They're stuck in their ways. They've decided that either God shows up on their front doorstep with a billion angels and says gays are okay. Anything short of that is just not going to be sufficient to get them to think at all. Oh, and then this is my favorite part. They try to make the argument that the reason is because they want to cut down on molestation. They're afraid that if they allow gays to be leaders in the Boy Scouts, that they're going to molest or abuse the kids who are members of the Boy Scouts.
They have a right to protect their children from the potential risk of child sexual abuse at the hands of men who might be attracted to other males.
And I don't know what else to say other than there's nothing anywhere statistically proving that homosexual men are more likely to commit those kinds of acts than heterosexual men. Nothing, no correlation at all. Wait, you know what? They're right. I take it back. We just shouldn't expose children to homosexual predators. You know what? Thinking about it, good thing there's no reports of sexual predators abusing young boys in the church setting, because that would be ironic.
People who want to promote the acceptance of homosexuality have the complete freedom to form their own youth development organization, and that's what they should do rather than trying to transform the nature of a long-standing organization.
Now, I know that this may seem like a shock to a lot of people watching, but I agree with this guy. I say let's pull all the kids out of the Boy Scouts and start our own organization that's not full of bigotry and lies and fear and hate. They do not deserve federal funding. We need to pull all their federal funding, and a lot of private organizations that have been supporting them are pulling their money too. So let's leave them without a leg left to stand on and start our own organization. I was talking to someone the other day who said that they did not allow their kid to join the Boy Scouts, and they explained to him exactly why. And once he understood, he didn't want to be a part of it either. And I think that that's awesome, that people are willing to actually have that conversation with their kids, be open-minded, and raise them with a message of love and acceptance instead of hate and bigotry. And before I go, there's one clip from CNN I want to show you. I think it's really interesting because this woman makes it personal for someone, says, would you want your son, if your son were gay, would you still want them to be able to be a part of an organization like this? And I think his answer is rather interesting.
Lawsuits by activists
Would you
like
want
that.
your son? Would you want your son to be in the Scouts if he was gay?
I think a question like that directed at my son is a rude question, but let me answer it this way. I would not have put my son in a troop with an openly gay leader or an openly atheist leader.
Or maybe I should have said lack of an answer. He completely dodged the question. He turned it into, instead of my son being gay, I wouldn't want my straight son to be a part of an organization that had gay members or gay leaders. He didn't even answer the question and said it was rude to ask that type of question. What are you talking about, rude? That's a real question. A lot of parents are in that exact situation. They have children who are gay, and they can't be a part of this organization. How do you think that makes the parents and the kids feel? With suicide rates through the roof for homosexual members of this country, I don't understand how you can sit there and say, oh, that's a rude question. It's a real question. It's an applicable question. And it's something that needs to be talked about. So obviously this is something that's really pissed me off. I'm really fired up about it. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. So make sure to let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think the Boy Scouts of America should be allowed to discriminate against homosexual members or members of, the atheist or agnostic community, anyone pretty much who is non-religious, they're also discriminating against. So let me know what you think. Make sure to like this video and share it. And if you want, send it to the Boy Scouts of America. Spam their page, spam their Twitter. Get in their face about this topic because they cannot feel like discrimination and bigotry and hate is something that we stand for, because we don't, and we need to speak up and stand against it together. Anyways, I really appreciate everyone watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it everywhere, and if you want to follow me on all the relevant social networks, links are in the description. I'm on Facebook a lot, I'm on Twitter a lot, I'm on Instagram a lot, so come say hi, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.